I'm Alex with Storyline Travel, and today we're going to finish our series of our Royal Caribbean cruise by talking about 4 lessons we learned getting off the ship. We're really glad you're here. We've had fun telling you about our Royal Caribbean cruise out of Galveston on Adventure of the Seas. We had such a blast on this 5-day cruise, and it's time to talk about what it was like getting off the cruise and 4 key lessons that we learned when we got off the boat and how to do it successfully. So stay with us as we go over those. But before we do, I just want to say we're really glad you're here. We hope you'll give us a thumbs up for the video. Give us a like. It really helps us with searching and the algorithms, the powers that be that make this information visible to others. And subscribe. We're trying to get our subscribes over 20 so we can get a name that makes sense. Google really likes to see you have the subscribers up. So help us out, push that subscribe button. And then turn on notifications. Every Friday we give you tips and tricks for family travels, and you'll see some of our adventures as we go around the world, as well as how to make the most of your family vacation. Great, so let's get started. First thing I want to talk about is preparing to get off the ship. Now, a couple of days before it's time for your cruise to end, your app will notify you that you need to select a time to get off the ship. Now for us, this was literally in the middle of our cruise, and it was a little disconcerting to have to think about getting off the cruise when we're halfway through and we're having fun and we wanted to, not think about leaving the ship and all the wonderful service and food that was on board. I understand why they do it. Just be aware that on these shorter 5 or less, you're going to probably be asked about getting off the ship, halfway through your cruise or less. And so we were asked, we had 4 times that we could pick: before 8, 8 to 8:30, 8:30 to 9, and after 9 o'clock. These were the ranges that were offered to us. We decided to pick an 8:30 to 9 time frame for ourselves. And then within a day or two, we were given instructions, a piece of paper instructions, and some luggage tags on our bed for disembarking on that last day. In addition, one of the TV channels was dedicated to the processes and procedures for getting off the ship. So that was our first lesson, was learning we needed to select a time. We needed to look at our schedule. For us, we were driving, so we didn't have, for example, an airplane to catch, and that will determine for you which time frame you pick. We wanted to be on the ship just a little bit longer, but not spend too much time. Therefore, we picked that third category, that 8:30 to 9 time frame. Lesson number 2. We're going to talk about what it was like the day before we were ending our cruise and getting ready for that. As I mentioned in the first lesson, you will eventually get luggage tags for the luggage that you have. These tags are used if you want to have your stateroom attendant handle your luggage and get it to the customs area once you reach port on that debarkation day. We packed up our bags on that last evening, got all of the laundry and souvenirs and the things that we wanted to pack in that suitcase to go home, zipped it up, and then tagged our handle with the luggage tags provided. For us, there was 1 tag per person. If you do need additional tags, reach out to your stateroom attendant and they'll take care of that for you. This is a good time to remember that day bag that you brought on the first day of your cruise. Keep that out for the last day of your cruise. It's really handy to have that bag with you for all of the items you're not going to pack on that last evening. And this is a great time to remind you, make sure that you have clothes for the last day. It's really embarrassing on that last day getting off the ship if you have to do so in your pajamas because you packed everything and handed it to the stateroom attendant to take to customs. So one of our tips is have your day bag, have a change of clothes that are there, and also you might want to keep your toiletries bag with you. So what we did the night before is we laid out the clothes that we wanted to walk off the ship with, toiletry bag of the minor items that we needed for that next morning. We had that in the bathroom, and then we packed everything else up in our suitcases, put that luggage tag on, set it outside the door. 10 p.m. was our time. That's normally when a cruise line wants it out. Verify with either the information given to you on that debarkation piece of paper that was put on your bed, or check with your stateroom attendant on what time you need to have your luggage out. Normally it's 10 p.m. One last recommendation on that last evening. If you follow our channel at all, you know that we like to use packing cubes. This is a great time to have that medium-sized or small packing cube available for any clothes left over, your sleep clothes, anything that maybe you found after you packed that suitcase, to zip that up to put in your day bag. Keeps it all nice and neat together. And when you get home, it's easy just to grab out that packing cube from your day bag and toss it in the laundry room for when it's time to do laundry. Lesson learned number 3, the last day of the cruise. So in Royal Caribbean, one of the things that we learned is on the last day of your cruise, your sail pass will no longer work as a key card to get into your room. So as you get up and get around that last day and you're packing up, changing clothes, all the things you're doing to get ready, before you leave your room, make sure you take everything with you. Now, for those of us who travel as a family or a couple, if one person needs to leave, make sure somebody's behind, because again, that lock is changed and your sail pass will no longer work. So as you're leaving, if you did not give your luggage to the stateroom attendant the night before, or you do have your day bag with whatever laundry left over and toiletries in there, as you clean out the room and you leave to go to breakfast that morning, that's it. Once that door is closed, you're not getting back in. If there is some type of emergency, or you did realize you left something behind, you do need to try to find that stateroom attendant. But remember, it's a busy day for them. It may be difficult to track down. So our recommendation is, before you leave and you do that one last pass, walk through, open all the drawers, open all the cubby holes, make sure there's nothing left, and do that final walk through, because once you leave, that's it. So that means you're taking your luggage and your day bag down to breakfast. Now that you've checked out of your room, check your debarkation paper for where you're supposed to meet at the time that you've selected for getting off the ship. This will give you an idea of where you need to be once you've finished with breakfast, if you're going to eat breakfast. For us, we decided to grab breakfast at 8 o'clock. Again, our time was at 8:30. So at 8 o'clock, we headed to the main dining room. We had 30 minutes to eat our breakfast. It was, pastries, and they did have the menu. They are trying to, finish up with any food that was left over. That was provided for us. We got our coffee, our water, juices, pastries, breakfast foods. And then for us, 8:30, we headed to the Encore Lounge. That was where our meetup was. Now here's a tip for you on breakfast. If you find yourself running a little late, or you are leaving on the earlier time frames where you're only going to have time to get to the assembly station for leaving the ship, they did have pastries, coffee, and water available for anyone who was waiting. So even though we went to the main dining room and had breakfast, we could have just as easily gone to our assembly station, had a pastry and a cup of coffee there, and then headed out. We waited until one of the crew members called our number and said, everyone with the number that was assigned to our luggage tags, we were ready to leave the ship. And that gets us to point number 4. Your name's called, you're ready to get off the ship. That is, be ready to get off the ship. I know that sounds obvious, but let me tell you about a fail I had. As we had packed everything up, and I knew that my Sail Pass card would no longer work as a key to my room, I packed it away. Missing the one rule that every cruiser knows: you have to have your Sail Pass to get off the ship. That includes debarkation day. So as we're in line and we're heading out to the deck to go to the gangway, they were asking for our Sail Pass to scan and let us off the ship. We had a few unhappy people behind us as we had to stop, dig in our bags, find our Sail Pass to scan and get off the ship. I held up the line. That wasn't good for me. Totally had forgotten. So don't pack away that Sail Pass card until you're actually physically off the ship. That's a pro tip. Okay, found our Sail Pass cards. We were able to scan and go down the gangplank. As we're going down, we had a crew member that was asking if we had passports or not, and separating us into two lines. One line for passports, one line for other forms of identification. Weren't really sure what this was all about. As we're going through the line, folks were pulling out their passports and their different forms of identification. And as we got closer to the actual port terminal, we were told, you don't need your passport, put it away. And that's because they use facial recognition. So for those of us who travel with the passport, once you get off the ship, you get into the cruise terminal. We did use the facial recognition. It was fast, it was seamless. We got the green check mark and we were through into the customs area. So while you're in the customs area, look for the number that was on your luggage tag that was assigned to your room. They had, for us in Galveston, there were two big rooms. They had, like 1 to 20 in one room and then 21 plus in the other room. Our number was 25 on this particular cruise, and we were able to go right to area 25. There was a sign hanging over, and find the 4 pieces of luggage that we had put out for our traveling party. We grabbed the luggage and headed towards the exit. And so we wrapped up, we walked out of customs. We only had a few souvenirs, so nothing to declare. We were able to walk out. And you had basically 3 options at this point. One, there was a parking lot that was really close to the terminal. We parked there, so we just walked over to our car. Some people had parked, but they parked in either covered parking lots or parking lots that were a little further down the road. There were shuttles to take folks there. You could go find your shuttle. Or if you were flying out or had transfers to hotels or other places in Galveston or Houston, you went and got on your transfer. And that's it. The cruise was over. Bittersweet, happy to be home, but obviously missing the cruise and being taken care of, as Royal Caribbean did an excellent job with this. Thanks for staying with us to this point. We hope you enjoyed the information and learned something. Curious below, comment, have you ever disembarked and had to get off in your pajamas, or held up a line because you packed your sail away pass like I did, or some other misadventure getting off the ship? Share with the group, let us know. Maybe we can all learn something new. And at Storyline Travel, we believe every adventure is a story waiting to be told.